Hi! It's been a year since I made my last video, and I wasn't really sure before if I wanted to continue making videos, but all of the awesome comments and follows have encouraged me to want to continue to make helpful videos to encourage you guys on your homeschool journey. Today I wanted to talk about a few tips for new homeschoolers, specifically around minimalist homeschooling. I want you to be able to get started homeschooling if you think that this is for you, and I want you to be able to do it in a low stress way so that you and your family can enjoy homeschooling. My first tip, and probably the most important one, is to start out cheap and slow. If you are completely new to homeschooling, choose the cheapest thing out there. Just get started. All-in-one workbooks are fantastic to just help you get started. They have grade level ones or subject-specific ones, and they're cheap. Maybe you hate them, maybe you don't think the content is academically amazing, but if you don't know where to get started, just do that. And then the stress of choosing some really expensive curriculum goes away because you can get started, figure things out, and then plan if and when you want to spend a little bit more money on a curriculum. If you choose one of those all-in-one workbooks and pair it with a bunch of trips to the library or printouts that you could find online, you can use those all-in-one curriculums as the core of your homeschool and not need much else. That makes homeschooling really cheap and doable for you if you are just getting started. Another one of my favorite resources is called Teachers Pay Teachers. There are a lot of worksheets and activities and just learning resources that you can use absolutely for free. Another one of my favorite resources is The Good and the Beautiful. It is a curriculum made by Jenny Phillips, and she has curriculum from kindergarten through 12th grade. Her language arts curriculum from kindergarten through 5th grade is completely free to download. If you are homeschooling a preschool or kindergarten aged student, going to the library is the easiest and cheapest resource for homeschooling. If you are not new to homeschooling but you are wanting to try out a more minimalist style of homeschooling, I would say take a break for a week or two, and then using what you have, try to make the lightest work day possible, and then keep going with that. My next tip is to know your weaknesses and get help. If the thought of teaching math gives you anxiety, maybe that's where you should do a little bit more research and invest a little bit more time or money into a curriculum that will hold your hand through the process of teaching. If you find that your child is struggling in a specific area, I find that it's okay to take a break from other subjects for a few days and really focus on the area that they are struggling in. My third tip is to find your homeschooling style. Knowing your homeschooling style can help you more easily find resources and curriculum. I would also suggest just researching homeschooling styles and read a little bit about each one, and whatever one resonates with you the most, then you know that you can get a lot of your resources from that specific homeschooling style. My fourth tip is to battle overwhelm with simplicity and structure. Homeschooling can be overwhelming, but if you focus on math and language arts, it can make a really easy transition into homeschooling or minimalist homeschooling. It also helps to have structure. In our house, my husband works nights, so we take our mornings a little bit slower and spend time with him before he goes to work. And then after he goes to work, we can focus on homeschooling. Maybe you want help from your spouse or partner, so you'll schedule your homeschooling, or at least a part of it, around when they'll be home and available. Starting out homeschooling will be so much easier if you have structure to your days so that your kids know what to expect, how long that they're going to spend homeschooling, what other things are in their day. And remember, you can always change your schedule if something's not working. Tip number 5 is to remember that curriculum or other resources are a tool for you to use in teaching your child. which means if a resource or curriculum seems overwhelming, then you can skip it. Nobody's telling you that you can or can't. If you're doing math and your student has gotten really good at a particular subject and you want to move ahead, do that. Skip ahead. If you find a curriculum and you're already committed to it and there's something in there that you don't like, maybe there's a story you don't like or there's wording in it that you don't like, that's okay. Don't say it. Make the words your own. It can be really stressful to feel like you have to complete a curriculum the exact way that it says in the book. But if something isn't working for you, feel free to cut it out, move on, skip it, go back to it at a later time. Overall, make the curriculum work for your family instead of the other way around. My last tip with getting started in homeschooling or switching to a minimalist homeschooling style is to add on slowly. After you've focused on the basics of math and language arts, start to add in slowly. Maybe you want to tack on a science activity each week. Maybe you really are interested in a specific period of history. Maybe your child has other interests like music or art or robotics. Then you can start to add those on slowly so that you're not stressed out, so that you and your child and your family have a better experience homeschooling. I hope these tips help you get started with homeschooling or switch to a minimalist homeschool style. I will link a bunch of resources below, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment.